Hi everybody, this is Demo Dad bringing you another video about my experience with melanoma cancer. This is video number 10, so if this is the first video you're watching, go into the description and there's a link to it, to all the other videos, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. This is number 10. So I am home. I have kind of figured out how to sleep in a recliner, and I am emptying the fluid out of these little bulbs that I have. I finally got one bulb down to the point where it wasn't draining very much, and so I had it removed by a local doctor. Anyway, the other drain was still in, and it was still draining quite a bit of fluid, so I couldn't take it out yet, but this is another gross part. So if you don't want to listen to this part, go ahead and turn it off or fast forward to this gross part. But I had an incision that went all along the crease between my leg and my groin area, and the top of that incision had opened a little bit, and now the drain that was still in my hip area, it started to suck air out. So when I squished it and it started to open up, instead of pulling fluid out, it started pulling air, and so I had no longer fluid ending up in my little squishy, I can't remember even what I called it anymore, but it would now suck air into that tube, and so it wasn't filling up with fluid anymore, and that fluid is now draining out of this little open part of my incision. So I told the doctor about that. They said, come on down to the Huntsman Center and we'll take a look at it. So when I got down there, they said, well, we're going to go ahead and take out this other drain tube, and I was so happy that they were going to take that out. But at the same time, my first experience of pulling that drain tube out of my hip area was excruciatingly painful. And so I said, you know, I know I want this thing out because it's such a pain and a hassle, but it's so painful. And they said, well, do you want something to help you with the pain? I'm like what? I said, well, why don't we just give you something to help you through this difficult time? I'll just give you a I can't remember what it is, those pills that, a Vicodin. Let's just give you a Vicodin. I think it's Vicodin. Anyway, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So they gave me this little teeny pill, and they gave it to me, I think, they said about 15 minutes. So I started to relax a little bit, but I really didn't feel that much different. And they came back and they said, okay, are you ready? I'm like, I guess so. I really don't feel any different. And I says, okay, here we go. So I said, we'll do it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And I was still relaxed. I was ready for this rush of pain. And she says, okay, it's out. And I'm like, no, it's not. I know you're faking me out. I didn't even feel that. You're just waiting for me to, not notice. And she says, no, I got it right here. And so she held up the little drain. And like I said, it's about as long as this. It has holes all the way in it so that it, the fluid goes into those holes and out through the thing. She says, here it is. I'm like, I couldn't even feel that one. That one I didn't even feel. So if you need those tubes removed, if you need that drain removed, ask the doctor for a Vicodin or something to calm you down so that it does not hurt when they pull those out. So that's a recommendation I give you. So now I have this little teeny incision that's open on my hip, and now I've got fluid draining out of that instead of draining into my little tubes. So now all I had to do is figure out how to soak up that tube. So what the doctor said was you could use gauze all the time, but you could just use the feminine hygiene pads. So what I decided to do is to cut the pad into thirds, and then I would take that pad and I would put it right there on my incision, and then as this incision would drain out, it would drain onto that pad. And so all I'd have to do is just tape that pad onto my body, and then it would soak up all that fluid. And then halfway through the day, I'd put another pad on and throw that away. So I would just over and over just be replacing this pad that would soak up that fluid. They said eventually that little incision would close up, it would get smaller and smaller, and it did. So once that finally closed up, then I was done with putting those pads on my hip area to pick up that fluid. And at that point, that is really where, well, here's the last part. So I went back to the Huntsman Center, and they had a report on this happened before, I'm sorry I didn't tell you this before, but way before I got all these tubes pulled, they said, did anybody tell you the results of your second surgery? And I said, no. And so they said, well, they didn't find any cancer cells in any of those lymph nodes that we took out. And I was like, no cancer cells in any of those? Well, I want those lymph nodes back. But it was good news that I did not have any cancer cells in those lymph nodes. And so they recommended that we just watch, and we have x-rays and CT scans every 3 months, and that at this point they consider me to be cancer-free, that it has not spread anywhere else. All of the other lymph nodes were clean, and they didn't find anything else. So that is my hope and my prayer, that not one of those cancer cells moved past those first lymph nodes, and that it won't ever come back. So I am now 2 years past my second surgery, and I have not had any recurrence of any cancer anywhere. I get an MRI every year. I get a CT scan of my stomach and pelvis and abdomen every 3 months. And so far they have not found any reoccurrence of my cancer. So I have been blessed. And so that's why I feel like I need to tell my story to some people out there that maybe are going through this, that there is hope, that maybe you can get past it. Maybe it hasn't gone too far and you could catch it early enough. Just keep a positive attitude. Again, go to counseling. You got to see counselors to help you through it. Have your family go to counseling and see counselors, and then find somebody that has been through what you're going through and just talk to them. And I think you'll find that it will help you get through the difficult times, because it's now somebody that has gone through the same thing as you are going through. So anyway, that's my recommendation. I think this is my last video. I might tell you a few more things in the future, so stay tuned. I might talk a little bit about some other things that happened during those. I just kind of gave you the details of the actual surgeries and things like that. So thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Hey, I think I see somebody in there. Oh, hey, that's you. You're watching my video. Hey, thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you want to share it with your neighbor on Facebook. Or if you want to keep watching my videos, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Dumb Old Dad. We'll see you later. I think I see you in there.